All right, so I got a question for you. We're gonna go to Nashville, and we're gonna get into a little bit of juicy stuff here. So let me ask you this here: do you think there's a rivalry in the writing community as the Nashville community grows, especially in the poetry market? So tell me about, some of the poets, and do you feel like there's a rivalry? I don't want you to name names, but I do want you to know. I do want you to explain how competitive you want to tell the rest of the world the Nashville market is in poetry.
Are you saying robbery, like plagiarism?
Rivalry, like like this person versus this person, or the
Competition.
these competitions. Some people want to get on top. The other person feels like they're on top. Is there any rivalries? Don't name names, but just say, yeah, there's a good, healthy competition here. Or you can say, I don't really think there is. You know,
I think there's competition. Yeah,
you do.
yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
okay.
I won't
Any,
name
any
names though.
Okay, please don't. But are there any MFA people out there you feel like they are really going at it? Yes or no? Don't specify them because I know some of these people. So
Yeah, I do think that there is a competition here. I think some people do feel threatened. And I mean, I think that's just the way things are, though. There is an adorable corgi over there. Sorry. So I think that's just the way things are, though. I think people just want to be the best. They want
yeah,
to hear that they're the best. But I mean, we're all just out there making art.
yeah. I mean, as a wordsmith myself, I remember reading something and then I said, "This is a little bit boring. I think I can make a better version of that." And I feel like I did that. I took it to one of my first writers groups. Shout out to Ashley Raw. Shout out to Monique Goose. Shout out to Surge. And shout out to just all the writers groups that I've been to, the few I went to. But is there something that you read and you felt like you could have done better?
Like as far as writing or the delivery.
Oh, let's go writing. Let's go writing.
Writing, yeah, I mean, I think with some of my poems, there are maybe not the whole poem, but like bits and pieces of a poem that I think I could do better. I have one in mind right now. I haven't actually performed it yet. It's kind of my arsenal right now. And anyway, I'm thinking about tweaking it a little bit more before I perform it.
Okay, okay. So you're in the movies like I'm in the movies. But is there a certain actor, actress that you feel like would be a great poet if they ever got into that industry? And if so, please tell me who it is.
Okay. So one of my favorite actresses, Helena Bonham Carter, she actually does write poetry and reads poetry.
Oh,
She's a huge fan of poetry, and so I'm gonna have to say her. She's an
oh,
amazing
okay,
person.
okay, okay. Let me ask you this here: who is somebody in the Nashville community? Maybe he's like a country music artist. It don't have to be country. It can be rock and roll. It can be. There's more in Music City than country music that you feel like I would like to write with them.
Yes.
Like, please tell me if you got somebody like that.
Okay. Well. All right. So like I said, I'm a huge fan of Sad Girl right now. And she's not a country music singer, but I was thinking it would be so great to collaborate with her. And then I've also discovered recently Sage. You can find her on Instagram under Chase and Sage. She's
Okay.
got such a beautiful, beautiful voice. And I'm just like, how great would it be if I wrote poetry and then just kind of had her sing a little bit in between, like in between verses.
Okay. Okay. Well, something I peeped out about you, and I heard this before when I interviewed another young lady from DC. Shout out to people in the DMV and your voice. I'm a big fan of audiobooks. I think you would be a perfect person to read do audiobooks. But like on the poetry side,
Yeah.
if you have done that, please tell us about it. But if not, are you inspired by me by asking you right now that you can do audiobooks?
Yeah, I'll give that some thought, definitely. I have been told that I have a nice voice, so I'll think about it. Are you
Okay.
from Nashville?
Born here. I grew up in Gallatin. Shout out
Oh,
to the
that's where
G.
I am right now. I live in Gallatin.
You live in? Oh, well, right. You know,
Yeah.
right. That's my home. That's my town right there. Um, definitely. In Gallatin. Let's see. How long you been there?
Well, I was raised in Hendersonville, which is just the next town over. I lived there up until recently. I've only been living in Gallatin for a few years now, but I'm like right on the city line of Hendersonville and Gallatin. It's actually a really great location.
Wow. Speaking of a rivalry, Hendersonville and Gallatin. Nice, long-lived rivalry. But let me get into the writers. Do you know any writers besides Swa that's from Gallatin or Hendersonville?
Yeah, Matt Awesome. He actually lives very close to me. Do you know
Yeah,
Matt Awesome?
yeah.
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 Uh,
I know of him. I don't know him like that, but I do know him.
yeah. He hosts a couple of open mic poetry events. He has had venues like our spot in Gallatin and Twin Kegs, but I don't think he's having shows at either one of those venues anymore.
Okay.
But he is just a really great poet, though. I mean, he kind of looks like Sean Lennon a little bit.
Mm, I know what it is. Okay.
Yeah, I miss him. I
Okay.
haven't seen him in so long. I need to make a point of it to go see him. I'm
Okay.
gonna go to Poets Playground after this. Have you heard of Poets Playground?
I have not. Where is
Okay,
that
yeah,
at?
it's over at Island Vibes in Nashville. It's hosted by Frizzy Sykes, and
Hmm,
anyway, it's gonna start I think at 8 tonight.
okay.
And yeah, it's a really great scene.
Oh, cool. Cool. Okay. Let's go to Hendersonville. Now, as a frequent book reader, I've been to certain places like, and I can't think of the. We're gonna go to Nashville first, but there was some bookstores. I like the old bookstore where you can smell the book, and there was a place in Nashville that just smelled like an old library. It was down right across
Mm-hmm.
from Vanderbilt, right next to um, Pancake Pantry.
Pancake Pantry. I
Yeah,
actually work at Vanderbilt, so I know that area very well.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
But you remember there was a
consider.
bookstore there.
Huh?
Remember there was a bookstore across the street over there.
Are you talking about Barnes and Noble?
No, no, no. It was an old
Um,
bookstore. It's right over where the theater is. It was a theater over there,
so you're
kind of on the
you're
corner.
you're talking about like the campus part of it. I'm more familiar with the medical center part of it.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. I'll think of that store in a minute. But let's go to Hendersonville. There was a bookstore up there. It was right over by KFC. I think it's called
I know what you're
Busy
talking
Bee.
about. Yeah, I used to
Is
go
it
there
Busy
whenever I was
Bee?
a kid.
Is it called Busy Bee, or is it, or that was next to it?
Oh, that one. Yeah, it's called Busy Bee.
Busy. Is
The
it still
the
open?
public library used to also. Well, I think it still is over there. Actually, we have a public library over there.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me. I'm
Oh, by
getting
the
to
way,
that.
shout out to Henry L. Jones. He's the poet laureate of Hendersonville.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you know Henry L.
Uh,
Jones.
I I'm not gonna say I can't say I do, but
Okay,
I'll definitely look him up. Send me his information. I'm definitely want to get in touch with him
great poet.
any way possible. Okay. Okay. So speaking of books, and this is 2024, are you still a book person, or are you more of an audio slash tablet type reader?
I'm gonna have to say audio. Um, I think that would, make me less sleepy because I
Hmm.
can't read a book without falling asleep.
Okay, I can dig that. I can dig that. All right, so we're gonna go to writing here. Give us one of your uniques. Kind of give us the tagline for one of your unique pieces of poetry that you've written.
Um, you said tagline. What do you mean by tagline?
Tagline, like movie line, like in a distant land far, far away, an angel came down and swooped up a bird and made him a god, and he came back to save the world, only to know that there were other gods like him. Something like that. Tagline from a movie. Or like, but for one of your poetry, like if you're trying to sell me on, I want you to buy this, I want you to read this. Tell me a little bit about
Um, oh, I think I know what you're talking about now. Okay, so the poem that I've had the biggest response on is called Roses and Tomatoes, and it's about stage fright. And
it. Okay.
I just had a huge response on that one. And as far as taglines and selling a poem, I mean, I can't really help you out there. I just be like, just read this poem. I got a good response on it, But
Okay.
um, I do want to say something about stage fright, though, real quick.
Mm.
Um, if anyone is watching right now who feels that they have stage fright, so I'm right there with you on that. I also have stage fright terribly. Like I will, like my hands will start shaking so bad, and like stress, sweat, and all that. It's just the works. Yeah, my legs will start shaking too. Just everything. Anyway, so I get all that, but the thing is though is that if it's something that you really love, if it's a passion you have, that fire inside you, if you really want to show that, then if you're really passionate about it, you just do it anyway. Just do it anyway. And you know, sometimes, the scariest thing will happen and you might blink or something, you might mess up, but you just keep trying and you make friends, and they support you. And I mean, now I am hosting an open mic poetry event and I have stage fright. It's a really cool thing to share your gifts, So I just wanted to say that really quickly about stage
Okay. Well, since you said that, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. So the first time I went to a writers group, I think I went on to one of these writer meetup things, and I signed up, and they'll say, "Oh, come on through." So I get there, and I see about 10, 12 writers around the table, and they told me to bring my copies of my manuscript. So I brought chapter one of a story I wrote. This is my first time ever doing this, right? So I sit there, and speaking of stage fright, I kind of I had that. So I'm sitting there, and I got my manuscript, and I'm passing them out, and they said, "Oh, we want you to read it." And people who know me, I like to read. I don't like to read out loud because I feel like I don't sound good reading my own stuff. I kind of want someone else to do it. But I
I
started
get
to
that.
read.
I was kind of
Yeah.
insecure about that whenever I was in high school, reading out loud in the in front of the class, but I got used to it.
I mean, I wrote the words, and I feel like it just either I'm like trying to find the right word. Oh, let me make sure I say this right. It just didn't feel natural. I've always been a quiet reader, like read in the house. I'm reading to myself, but I've been working on that. Obviously, I'm on podcast, so I got two podcasts, and it helps me when I'm in front of the camera talking like that. But I have had stage fright. I still have a period where I probably feel a little butterflies in my stomach. But my question is for you: if I come up there to poetry night, are you? And I got my paper. Are you gonna ask me to read my poetry in front of I don't know people that are been doing this all their lives. I guess maybe they have a libation. Are you going to put me on Front Street if I decide to walk up in there, or are you going to let me at least ease into it?
So, my show is all about living a dream, and whenever we have spectators come, I do encourage them to come up to the mic. I also give out like roses and candy for people who come up to the mic, just kind of as a way to say thank you. But anyway, like I do encourage that, but I'm not gonna pressure anyone. And you don't have to go up there if you don't want to. If you want to read, that's fine. If you want to perform it by memory, that's even better. We love that. Um, and it's a very warm and friendly community. And yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, from someone who has stage fright, it's a really wonderful place to just vent about what's going on in your life, you know?
Okay, okay. One day I might do that. I think I might come up here with a piece, and I like to put it by memory. It'll probably help me, you know, perform it better. But I'm thinking that's something I want to tackle one day in the future. Um,
I would love to have you.
okay, okay. Well, all right. No, like to have me. I think you're gonna eat me up. I think you're gonna get up there and Lord, she got sounders on there and gongs and all that stuff. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm not gonna embarrass myself. I guess I could go viral if I get up there and do some stuff, and
I've
it might.
I've embarrassed myself before, and you just keep doing it, just keep going. I even wrote a poem about my little blunders up at the mic. It's actually called Awkward Silence.
Hmm. Okay, okay. I like that name. That's a good name.
That's
We're
me.
just having a conversation here. Okay, yeah, yeah, I like that. I think you got some really good stuff. I'd like to read some of your stuff one day, and maybe we can share emails, and we can definitely get hear each other out in our wordsmith ways. But I want to ask you a question about new. What do you got new that people might be excited about that you're working on? If it's finished or it's in the process of being finished.
Okay, so this is the poem that I was talking about earlier. That I think I might tweak it a little bit. But uh, it's actually called Whore in Church. And it's about just like sweating like a whore in church, just like the pressure that you feel from people. And anyway, my poetry can be out there sometimes. I've
Wow.
been listening to like Queen Herbie lately, and that's kind of like what inspired me to write that poem. Can I read just like a little bit of it real quick?
Bring it on.
Okay.
Bring it on. That's what I want.
Well, oh, actually, I'm recording on my phone, so I can't. Never mind. Sorry.
Okay, we'll do this another time. I'm going to make
Okay.
an exclusive. I'll make a content video and I will do this at another time. Okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm definitely interested in that. But I want to know a little bit about. I think you got to. This is going to be a unique question here. Okay, this is going to be a little bit out there. If you had a chance to read your poetry in front of anybody anywhere, that might be controversial. Not just anybody that you love. It might be controversial, like a controversial podcast, controversial setting. Please give me something that the audience will love that you would probably like to read. And I'll share something with me about me too. So just any place that you feel like it'd be unique or any audience that you feel like would be unique.
Any audience that I think would be unique
Right.
for performing
N-
poetry. Oh my goodness, it's so great that you asked this question because it was just last week I had this paid gig where I was performing poetry in front of 14, 13-year-old girls. It was a birthday party, and oh my goodness, so like it was so cool and so great, but like also they're 13-year-old girls with cell phones, so like they were all just kind of like on their phones, you know. Um, but I think they had a good time. They said that they liked my poems and everything. I performed Paper Doll, and I even wrote a poem special for that event too. Saying happy birthday to the girl that it was for. So yeah, it was a great time. We also painted. It was great, painting
Hmm.
and poetry.
Okay. Now, this is just a little secret about me. Have you ever seen the movie Clueless?
I used to have that movie on DVD. Yeah, I used to watch it all the time.
Okay. For some reason, that's like one of my favorite movies.
Good
I'm
movie.
not from that type of, area and, grew up in nothing like that. But I always felt like I I just liked the movie because it had so many unique characters. So I actually thought that I had a dream and I was going to introduce my new novel in front of the cast of Clueless in the setting of Breakfast Club. You remember that movie?
Yes.
So Clueless, the setting of Breakfast Club,
Whatever.
and right, right. I don't know where this come from, but I was going to introduce my chapter one. And the reason why I say that is because I watch a lot of interviews with writers, and they have this thing I think on Simon and Schuster where you will see people read like the first few pages, and they'll be like in a couch, they'll be sitting outside, they will be in their car. And I was going to create the podcast I was going to do like that. And I might introduce some things like that here in the future. But I was going to do something like that. But I was imagining I'm actually in front of the cast of Clueless at the Breakfast Club. I know it's kind of weird.
No, it's not weird. It's actually kind of funny. That would be interesting.
And the main character, what was that, Alicia Silverstone? I
Yeah,
think that's right.
yeah.
She was going to be, I guess, the person they're going to introduce me. And the one that was like rolling with my homies,
Yeah, Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy
Yeah.
was going to be there, and Stacey Dash, and the other guy that with the crazy looking hair. I don't know why I love those characters. It's one of the movies that
I haven't seen it in
look.
so long.
I
I
mean,
know
look,
who you're talking about.
right. That doesn't fit me at all. They don't look like I'm the type of person who would watch anything like that. But I've seen that movie so many times.
Well, it's a cult classic, and it was very big back in the '90s. So
Hmm.
I
Okay.
understand.
Okay. Well, give me a fun fact about you.
I have a twin sister. That's always my fun fact.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
So her name is Stacy, and she, look, we're identical twins. She looks just like me, except she has like long dark hair. This isn't my natural hair color. I
Okay.
color it and curl it and
Okay.
everything. But yeah. In some ways we're very much alike, in other ways we're very different. So
Okay.
my mom
All
is
right.
also a twin. It runs in the family, but she's fraternal.
Oh, okay.
And then my brother, he married a twin. So we have three sets of twins in the family. So it's like everywhere you look, you're seeing double.
That's a great title for a store, Seeing Double.
Yeah.
I think you should take that and use that, Seeing Double.
I have ideas a
If
lot of
not,
times with poems. It's hard to keep up sometimes.
I mean, I get ideas at work. That's why I carry my flash drive.
Hmm.
And I got an idea about an author writing a story at work only at work on his time period where he's actually supposed to be working, and that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, yeah. Click. Let me go back to my regular screen. Somebody
Oh,
walked
one of the
by me
reasons why
too.
I like my job so much is I get to write.
Oh, okay.
I get
So
to
you
write
write.
while I'm at work. Nice.
Okay, okay. So let me do this here. Let me ask you some questions. I wanted the first thing to come to your head is kind of rapid fire. I usually do this with all my guests. And I promise I'll start easy and then we'll climb the ladder a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
First thing to come to your head.
Okay.
All right. Go to snack.
Um, pretzels and peanut butter.
Pretzels and peanut butter.
That actually probably isn't my actual go-to snack. It was just like the first thing that came out of my mind. Actually,
Yeah,
can I change that answer?
you
I'm
can.
gonna go
Yep.
with tea and toast.
Mm, okay. I like the other one better, but okay.
I thought we were doing rapid fire here, so
We are doing
I
rapid
think that's
fire.
like the first thing
Okay.
that came to my mind.
All right. All right. Rapid fire. All right. Favorite music album all time.
Supposed former infatuation junkie by Alanis Morissette.
Mm,
It's a
okay.
mouthful, isn't it?
It is a mouthful. A mouthful.
Supposed
I like that.
former infatuation junkie by Alanis Morissette.
Okay. Favorite place to write at.
My bed.
Okay. Okay. All right. Pen or pencil.
Pen.
Okay. Movie or concert you would like to go to.
Movie.
The beach or the mountains.
Mountains. I have that conversation with my sister all the time. She prefers the beach.
Name a person you would love to interview that's still alive.
Like it could be like a celebrity,
Anybody.
anybody. Anne Hathaway.
Nice. Nice. What is your favorite period of time?
The 1920s.
Okay. Cruise ship or airplane?
Cruise ship.
Most hated person right now. OJ Simpson or Sean Diddy Puffy Combs?
I don't know who that last person is, so I'm gonna have to say O.J. Simpson. He did it.
You
He
don't
did
know
it.
who P. Diddy
He
is?
got away with murder. No, I live under a rock. I
Oh,
actually didn't know who DMX was until recently.
oh Lord. Okay, okay, okay. That's all right. All right.
I have been learning recently. I've been learning about O.J. Simpson, since he died recently, and I'm
Mhm.
learning all kinds of stuff. I love learning about like true crime. So, but I'm sorry, keep going.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Who has the best hair in the music business?
The best hair in what business?
In music. Who has the best hair in music?
Oh, that's tough. Um, that's such a hard question.
I
Okay,
know.
I'm just
Okay,
gonna say the first
we'll
thing that
skip.
comes to my mind is Billie Eilish, but I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Okay. Celebrity crush.
Oh, can I name more than one?
Name. That's two. Let's go two.
Two. Adrian Brody and Eddie Redmayne.
Okay, let me pause for a second. Adrian Brody, I know that name. Who's the other person?
Eddie Redmayne. He was in Les Miserables. He's actually doing Broadway right now for Cabaret. And he was also in the Danish Girl and
Okay. I know who that is.
Okay, all right.
Okay. No, no problem. Favorite character from Game of Thrones.
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Okay. All right. It's all
I
right.
live under a
I,
rock.
no, you're fine. Favorite character. Card. I thought that you would know that. That's why I was like, okay, because I hadn't really watched that much of either. So that's why I just threw that out
My
there.
favorite
But
TV shows are American Horror Story and Sex and the City.
American Horror Story, I never seen. Sex and the
Oh my
City was the
gosh.
old. I'd never
Yeah, well,
seen
they
that.
have like a reboot right now. It's called And Just Like That, which I don't really like the title, but
Oh,
yeah, we're doing a reboot.
all right. Let's see. Favorite children's story.
Oh, um, I think the author is called Shel Silverstein. The Giving Tree.
Okay. Never heard of that one, but okay. Okay.
It's pretty popular children's book. I knew someone who said that he knew him.
Okay. All right. So give me two people you feel like people should start following on social media.
Black Widow, aka Gina Carrillo. I tell everybody about her. Um, and I, I guess that girl would have to be the second one.
Okay. Okay. Are you going to a concert this year in Nashville?
I was gonna try to go see Alanis Morissette and uh, Joan Jett, but I can't really afford it right now.
Understand that. Understand
Yeah.
that. All right. So I got a couple more questions for you here. All right. So if you got a chance to take your poetry, put it into collection, submit it to a literary agency, is there a certain literary agency that you are have targeted that you want to get published, or you may already be published? I'm not sure,
I'm
but
not
if not,
published. I'm
okay,
open to suggestions. I really don't know.
okay, okay. Have you ever submitted anything to a literary agency?
No, I'm
Okay,
kind of working on a collection right now. I have, I think, maybe 30 poems that I could probably put into a book, but I'm thinking that maybe I should probably get more. Trying to start a collection.
okay,
How many poems do you
okay.
think I would need for a book?
If you're going to self-publish it here, just yourself, I would start small because people's attention spans are short. You just want to create a buzz to see where you're at. I would say eight, probably 10, 8 to
Okay,
10.
okay.
I would say you probably need double that because they're gonna try to market you. They're gonna try to sell. If I was going to sell you, I would say I would want your best. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this. I've never done this before. I'm your literary agent, right? I'm gonna put you out into the world to the masses. So I'm gonna say I want your top 20 poetry, right? We're gonna create a name for the poetry, but here's how we're going to sell you. We're going to create a kind of a mystery behind you that people are going to like you before they buy your book. Because I feel like you have that in you. I feel like you have so much to give to the world. I know I'm kind of being a salesman, but that's kind of what it is. I think you have a unique thing. I will put you in front of as many people I can in interviews, and I want you to be you, but I want you to give something extra to the audience, they can say, you know what, I need to follow her social media because that's what people do. And when they do that, I think they want to look at some of your work. Give them a little bit of a taste of something. Maybe you post a few pictures of yourself doing whatever you do that has it nothing to do with writing. I'll say it'll be three of those. I want you to do two or three pictures of you in your mind state for writing, uniqueness, and a few videos. And then I want you to, advertise yourself as if you ain't. I don't know why you're not reading me, but if you want to read something, you need to go somewhere else. But if you want to be engaged by a unique character, you need to be here with me and you need to read my stuff. For the first few people, I want you to post on there, DM me, and I'm gonna DM you my poetry, the first few pages, and then I'm gonna personally talk to you. I know I'm selling you, and I think that's what you're so unique. I feel like I could talk to you about anything, and that's how I'll market you for your first book of poetry. I know there was one I read. It was like Milk and Honey? I think that's one of them, one of the most famous ones.
Hmm.
That go back about 10 years. But I read that, but I was working at Books a Million at the time, and I feel like the way it is now, I don't think you can sell books the way they used to be, even 10 years ago. I think you have to sell people a lot more than you have anything else, and I think you're a great person to do that. You got the name, you got the look. I know you can write. I know people respect you in the community, and I think you can be definitely a good star. Get up with Sad Girl. Say, hey, come on. I think it's Sad Girl, right?
Mhm.
Is that right?
I love Sad
Bring it
Girl so
on.
much. I'm crazy about her.
Huh?
I'm
Crazy about
crazy
her.
about her. I'm crazy about Sad Girl.
Yeah, man, I would.
I've been
And
listening
I'm
to her
picking
album
them.
for the past few days.
Yeah,
She has an album
yeah,
out right now called Blues and the Pinks.
yeah. I got a story I'm gonna write. I got a short story collection I'm writing now. I know I need to put my other one out, but I got it called Personal. It's coming out. It'll be out very soon. 'Cause I'm gonna try to write it as fast as I can. But it's about one story is about chances that we haven't taken because we haven't. I haven't chances I haven't taken because I haven't done what I was supposed to do. What I already know about. And I just feel like the people who make it right now are the people who really put themselves out there. Obviously, the reason why I created this podcast, put myself out there, the reason why I'm talking to you, put myself out there, and this is just a journey. And I think I just need to do some extra. And I think that's what you would do once you do some extra. I think you would explode. You already got the people. People are already talking about you. They already know about you in the community.
I love my people.
Yes, that
I'm
was the
part of
you
the
know
Particle Poets. I love them so much. They're family to me.
I want to get to the viral interview, and then that's what I'm trying to do, the viral interview. And I think you got to do create a viral whatever. I don't know what that is, but I think it's there, and I think it's coming very soon for you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit here, and I'm not keep you too much longer. But got anything you want to ask me?
Hmm.
Anything? I
So
can
you said that
answer
you
anything.
write too, right?
I do.
All right. What do you call it? A magnum opus, which is like you know like what poem is like the one that you had the biggest response on?
Poem. Well, I don't have a poem for the biggest one. I
Oh,
never
you do write
submitted.
music.
But I do have a poem. I can tell you this. I can tell you about one after my father passed away. I wrote a poem in his honor. It's about him and his impact on not just me. It's about a man's impact on the community coming from his son, but not, that has anything to do with me. And it's called. I actually don't have a name for it, but I technically named it in honor of because I have another short story called In Honor of. But it's basically about him and who he is and how he can impact people. So that's something. You're interviewing me,
I
so come
I
on,
gotta
bring it
say
on.
that
I got it.
I gotta say that whenever you do write something, you need to give it a title. Like to me, my poems are my children, and I
Okay.
have to give them a name. It's one of the most important things, maybe the most important thing. Um, but as far as writing, poems from like family events, like weddings and funerals and stuff like that, I do that too. I try to
Okay.
do that for everybody in my family.
Okay. All right. Well, I do have a story. I'm trying. It's a story about a young that has decided that he found the woman that he loves, so he wants to marry her. So en- he gets engaged. Now, she is on this level of life career wise where he is still trying to find himself career wise. But she tells him something on the last day of their engagement vacation per se that changed his life. She says that there is a man that needs to die. She doesn't give him any other information. She doesn't give him. She gives him just the beautiful, solemn look that he's had before. He never had any trouble out of her good relationship. But what he decides to do is he decides to engage himself into trying to be a better person, but he also engages himself into her secret, and the story starts from there. Basically, he's takes on her life and tries to figure it out what's going on with her. Now, I don't want to ruin it, but there's certain things that happened to him on chapter one that changed his life, his health life. Then it goes into her and her ordeal because of their stipulations. There's things that are out there that he can't control. But one thing he does know is she's pregnant with his baby.
Hmm.
So that's my novel I have. I'm in rewrite process right now.
Okay.
I got a I got a novella. I originally called it Desiree, but I changed it. I don't have a title for it now. I say I'm working on titles. But let me go back to the other one. The other one I was talking about was called Last Chance to Celebrate. So this is last chance to celebrate his old life because that character's life is about to change because he gets engaged with his wife that wants to kill somebody and he gets involved in that. But the other story, which is an novella, which is written, it's about a young girl that is a cheerleader and she has a near fatal accident while she's doing a illegal formation cheerleading. But what happens is she finds out while she's in recovery that her parents have been lying to her. And it's going to affect her relationship with her parents and her best friend. So those are my two stories that I have right now. I have a lot of other ones too, but those are my two right now. I'm trying to get perfected.
Sometimes I think about writing a novel. I have a couple of ideas, but I don't know. I sometimes I wonder if I'm the best person to write it, but I mean, then I think, who else is gonna write it? So I don't know. I'm gonna try to give it my best shot, I guess.
Okay.
Um, what's your favorite character in a movie? Any movie?
My favorite character in a movie. That's a great question. I have so many, but one of my favorite characters. So, but one of my favorite characters in a movie. It's got Sean Connery in it, and I can't think of the man's name right now. It was a uh, young black kid. He was actually a writer, and he's developing himself as a writer, but he does it with the help of another writer that actually wrote one of the most memorable novels of all time. He only wrote one, and he disappeared. And he actually is getting coached by him. I can't think of the name right now, but I got the movie at home. I watched it several times. That's one of my favorite characters because I felt like I was him at one time. And I got to writing because of a person that said that you got so many unique stories in you. You just got to know how to write it because you got
Mm,
everything else in you. And that's what I got when I watched that movie.
hmm.
So that's one of mine. I wish I know the title of it right now, but
Yeah,
maybe
ever
on the back
since
end I can.
I watched your interview with Sergio, I've been thinking about what my favorite character in the movie would be, and I'm gonna have to go with Sally Bowles in Cabaret. It's a
Okay.
Yeah, it's a movie that was made back in the 70s, but it takes place in the 30s and takes place in Germany and has Liza Minnelli in it, and
Hmm.
yeah, I really love that movie.
Okay. I mean, that's definitely I like that. I've
I,
seen that before.
I think
I haven't
you've
seen.
seen it? Okay. Not a
Yeah.
lot of people have seen it. But a close second might be Marla Singer from Fight Club, or
Mm.
Elizabeth Slander from Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Wow. I haven't read that book, The Girl with Dragon Tattoo, but I got that movie. Someone from Writers Group told me you needed to read it for character development. So I got the movie to I can't think of the guy's name right now, but I got inspired by that movie because it's a really cool character. And I
Mm,
really thought what I expected from the movie and what I got from the movie were two different things. I thought it was more of a just a kind of a girl with a dragon tattoo, like a superhero, and she was a superhero, but she had a very unique story. It was sad, but and I think they made other books about it too. But I think that that's a great character.
what I love about her character is she acts so tough and withdrawn, and I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but like in the movie, she opens up to this other character, and she allows herself to be vulnerable, and then her heart gets broken, and like the final scene in the movie, you just I don't want to give anything away, but like she just
Yeah,
like gets on her motorcycle and she just drives off as if it doesn't phase her at all, and she just moves on. And I'm just like, oh, I like this girl.
I think that would be probably a good. It can probably be a series. Could be because it was more of a. That's why I was really into the crime stuff, and she was. I mean, she was very unique and very smart, and I like that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I like the way that she can like hack into computers and everything. I'm just like, oh.
yes, yes. Um, you got another question for me,
Hmm. What's your middle name?
Morris?
Do you like
Sucks.
your middle name? It sounds like you don't like
No,
it.
it sucks. I'm very I wouldn't tell my mom that. Rest in peace to my mom, but I was thinking like, cause see, I'm not a very staged person. Like you see my work shirt on, got my full name on here. I don't really care, but people know me. I was thinking about just Renard
Lumber? Is that what your shirt says?
84. I work for 84 Lumber.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought about. I remember somebody. I think his name is Robert Mango. Have you heard him? He's a writer community. He's an
No.
author.
Mm-mm.
He said if you get your writing down and if you get just your first name and get people to say it right, you can be a top author one day. He told me that. He read one of my stories. I wrote a spy story, and he said you can get if you get it together, you can be a great author one day. I was like, oh shoot, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. Anything else?
If you could be someone else for another day, who would it be?
You know what? I would want to be somebody else. I would like to be a better version, but inspired by somebody else. So let's go into the writer part. So let's say I'm me, but I got the life of a mid, kind of a not a New York Times bestselling author, but an author that can take care of himself and his family by what they write. That's working to create a masterpiece. He has a story idea. He has several different ideas. I can imagine my bookshelf that's full of a few of my books, but other people's things too here. But I haven't created something that was sufficient enough to get me to the top level. And let's say, because I like old school cars, so I would like to be a guy that can write, I can barbecue, but I can go out to a car show and sit there and talk to a perfect stranger for 3 days, for 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours, and then come back and write a story with my ballpoint pen inside the shadows of a backlit yard where I just got peace and serenity, and I can just be myself and be that I don't have to do what people have, you know, have put me in a box. So like just being a regular worker 9 to 5. So that's what I would like to be.
Okay.
Did you hear that from me? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard you. What kind of car
Did
do
you
you
hear
want?
my answer?
Huh?
Huh?
What did you say?
What's that? No, what'd you say?
I was
I
asking
didn't
what
hear
you
you.
said. I was asking what you said. I
Wait a
thought you
minute.
had
Say that
asked
one
me
more
that.
time. Oh, I got a
I was
question for you.
asking.
Okay.
Okay.
Go, no, go ahead.
Oh no, you. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, okay. So I think this could be my last question for you because I think I got you way too long here. But if you had the opportunity to do something with your writing that's going to make you public. So let's say you got something that you're good at it, but you looking for a great teacher that you had a weekend with that can help you get to the next level. Where would that take place, and who would that be with?
Okay, so someone that I would want to teach me. That is a very good question. Dead or alive?
Dead or alive?
Um,
Oh, I'm gonna make it even better. Well, I want you to answer that. I want you to answer.
I'm just gonna have to say Edgar Allan Poe, I guess.
Okay,
Tough,
okay.
it's a tough question.
I'm gonna have to. You gonna have to send me her stuff because I want to. Because that's very interesting. Because I feel like you're very inspired by that person, and I feel like you can relate to her. I feel like y'all should be a good match, and maybe put something out together. I don't know why, but I feel like you got good vibes with her, and I think that's definitely relatable. I mean, I think that sometimes too when I write, I kind of like I just imagine what this person's life is like. And if I can just have a day or two, a weekend with them just to kind of chill out. And maybe not even them teaching, just kind of be around them
Hmm.
to see how they really are beyond the camera, beyond social media, just in their own element. That's what I would like to do.
Well, I mean, there's, Alanis Morissette, she's a songwriter. I'm very inspired by her album that I was talking about earlier, Supposed from Infatuation Junkie. Sometimes whenever I'm looking for inspiration, I just listen to that album. So I don't know, maybe I would choose her, but she's not really a poet, she's a songwriter. But like I said, it's a gray area.
Okay. All right. So I think I've taken up enough of your time, and I want to do a part two with you because I got some more things I want to talk about. But I do want this. I do want you to do this. I want you to shout out some of a couple of people you feel like they need to follow, and then also I want you to shout out your information where people can follow you, how they can get in touch with you, and so on.
Okay. So definitely follow Black Widow, aka Gina Carrillo. She started the Prodigal Poets, which is kind of just like a group of some of the poets, and she helps us, get pay gigs sometimes. And anyway, so her, Sad Girl, Brandon Long, um, let's see, Rosie Sykes. There's a whole bunch of us really. Sarah Mingus, Francesca Kirkpatrick. There's a whole bunch of us, but I would say that those are the biggest names. And you could follow me on Facebook or Instagram under the same name, Silence Wordsmith. For Instagram, it's silence underscore wordsmith. And if you ever want to see me in person, just stop by Portland Brew East, second Saturday of every month at 5 o'clock. Um, you'll see me hosting my open mic poetry event. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is Ray or Renard, however you want to call me, but please call me with respect. But I want to say, based on characters, you can find me on YouTube based on characters. Ray Goodfellow on Instagram. I do have a sports podcast, a football podcast, and I also have. I'm a Titan fan, so I have a Titan podcast as well. Shout out to all the people in the Titan Nation. Shout out to G Town, Gallatin, Tennessee. Shout out to Nashville, all my fans, all my friends, all my family. Shout out to Alabama. Shout out to the Nashville writers community. Stay tuned for our next exclusive interview. I'm going to have two guests coming on at one time. I'll be interviewing very soon, so definitely stay tuned to that. And all the people, you know, we need to support each other in this writers community. I just want to let you know that because there's so many good stories out here. I'm not a big fan of repeats and reruns. We got more good stuff to give, so let's support people with new projects. And shout out to you, Miss Wordsmith. I love that name. The last person
No
heard
one's ever
say
called me
words,
Miss Wordsmith before.
Miss Wordsmith,
Miss
because I
Wordsmith.
think I think about Elmore Leonard. I loved his stuff, and he called himself a wordsmith one time. And on his on writing video that I have saved on my computer because I watch it every day and I try to use said. He's the one person who told me not to use so many different things and just use said because that's the way you should write. But again, thank you for doing this. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for each and every word that you're going to be able to provide to somebody, and because they're going to read your story one day, and I think that you're going to feel good about it. Don't stop doing that because I took a pause one time and I regret it. I really do. But maybe that pause was necessary for me to grow as a person. But again, I appreciate you so much for joining me, and make sure you definitely stay in tune to me because I got some more stuff coming, and I think you're going to enjoy those things. Okay.
All right, I will.
All right. Shout out everybody, and definitely stay tuned to my next videos. Again, this is Ray from Based Off Characters, and I am out.
There we go.